Hi, Algebra 2. So this is for second quarter. This is Unit 4. So take a look at these as we work them out. Make sure you ask me if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you. So we want to start solving this. So as I come through these problems, I'm going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides here. You guys have seen this before. Divide each side by 3. Root, don't forget the plus minus, so x equals plus or minus 2. So you have a positive and a negative 2. This next problem, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1. So that becomes 18. Divide each side by negative 2. And that becomes negative 9. When I do root, you do have the plus minus, but now we have to figure out what's going to take place here. From here on out, when you see an I or see a negative underneath the square root, that means you're going to have an I as part of your answer. That is not a variable. It stands for part of the imaginary system. Square root of 9 is 3. So the answer to this is actually plus or minus 3i. Okay, so that's going to be a little different. So let's think about this as we head down. Okay, so the imaginary unit, the I unit, imaginary. Unit I was created to help solve that are unstoppable. So I to the 0 is just 1. I to the first is square root negative 1. I to the second is negative 1. I to the third is negative I. I to the fourth is 1. I to the fifth starts over with it starting here. So that's negative 1. I to the sixth is equal to negative 1, so on and so forth. Okay, so the rule is it's divisible by 4. We'll see more of this later. So we're just going to focus on these here, and then it repeats, okay? So this would give me an answer of, you want to have positive and negative, because imaginary numbers always come as conjugate pairs. There's always a positive and negative. So I'm going to get I root 5. This one, I'm going to get the I out front. Don't forget the plus minus. 60 is going to break down to 4 times 15. So square root of 4 is 2. So I have that. Clean it up a little bit. You want the I to go first usually. It's not that it's wrong. It's just preference. This one is going to come out to plus or minus 11i. Okay. So as we scroll down, so this is going to be square root of 49 is 7, square root of 36 is 6. I have a plus or minus component, and then I have an I because I had a negative there. This one, I'm going to have the I that's going to come out. 40 is going to break down to 4 times 10, so square root of 4 is 2. 2 times that 5, I'm going to get 10 root, or 10i root 10. Don't forget the plus minus. And then I have a negative I here. Uh-oh. So what's going to happen? Well, negative I is the same thing as square root of negative 1, right? Negative times negative is positive. And then I can break 28 down to 4 times 7. So that's going to be 2 root 7. Okay. You can put the plus minus. It's not necessary, but as far as this class goes, we're fine with it, okay? All right, root. Don't forget the plus minus. X equals plus or minus. Square root of 64 is 8. I had a negative under the radical, put an I. Next problem, subtract 3 from both sides. Divide each side by 2. Root, don't forget the plus minus. X equals plus or minus. Square root of 4 is 2. And don't forget the I because I have a negative under the square root sign. Divide both sides by negative 5. So I get x squared equals negative 20. Root, don't forget the plus minus. 20 breaks down to 4 times 5, which is 2i root 5. Don't forget the plus minus in there. Almost forgot that. Subtract 7 from both sides. So that's going to give me negative 48. Multiply both sides by negative 1. That gets me to 48. Now it's positive root. Okay, this is going to be 48 breaks down to 16 times 3. So I'm going to get 4 root 3. There's no I because I was able to get rid of the negative underneath the radical. Add 3 to both sides. So that's negative 4. Root. Don't forget the plus minus. x plus 2 equals plus or minus 2i, because of that. Subtract 2, so I get negative 2 plus or minus 2i. Those cannot combine because one of them has an I. Divide each side by negative 3. So I'm going to get negative 10, root. Don't forget the plus minus. I minus 4 equals plus or minus I root 10. Add 4 to both sides. 4 plus or minus I root 10. Okay, I'm going to go over the worksheet. If you just copy this down, that means you don't know it. So don't worry about it. Okay, so how many times does 4 go into 13? It goes 3 times. What's left over? 1. So this becomes I to the first, which is just this. I to the 20th. 4 goes into that. 4 goes into 20 evenly 5 times. So this just comes out to be an I to the first, or this. I to the 18th. 4 goes into that 4 times the 2 left over, so I'm left with I squared. I squared is negative 1. 4 goes into 27 6 times with 3 left over, so I get I to the third. So what you have to know is I is equal to square root negative 1. I squared is equal to negative 1. I to the third is equal to negative I. I to the fourth is equal to 1. Okay, so I to the third is just equal to negative I. There's our answer. So this is going to be plus or minus I root 2. This will be plus or minus 6i. 32 is going to break down to 16 times 2. So I'm going to get 4i root 2. Don't forget the plus minus. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4. So I'm going to get an I. Don't forget the plus minus. I have a negative out front, so I'm going to hang on to that for a second. That's going to be 16 times 5. So then I'm going to wind up with 4i root 5. Let's multiply. I can multiply these together. So I'm going to get negative 8i root 5. 120. Remember, I is equal to square root of this, which becomes this. Okay, and 120 is going to break down to 4 times 30. So I'm going to get 2 root 30. And again, you can put the plus minus for right now. Number 11, we are going to go ahead and divide each side by, excuse me. We're going to multiply, or divide each side by 3. So that's going to give me that. Take square root, don't forget the plus minus. So 12 is 4 times 3, so I'm going to get 2i root 3. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides here. Root, don't forget the plus minus. Okay, so I'm going to get, that's going to break down to 9 times 2, so that's 3i root 2. There's our answer. Number 13, we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. Root, don't forget the plus minus. So that's going to be plus or minus 5i because square 25. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides, or add 5 to both sides. So that gives me negative 21. Divide each side by 3. Root, don't forget the plus minus. So x is equal to plus or minus I root 7. Number 15, divide both sides by 4. Root, don't forget the plus minus. And I get 3 over 2, so let's clean that up. Plus or minus 3 over 2i. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Divide each side by 5. Root, don't forget the plus minus. Plus or minus 2i. The square root of 4 is 2. Number 17, divide both sides by 2 first. Root. Don't forget the plus minus, 7i. Go ahead and subtract 1, so negative 1 plus or minus 7i. It stays just like that. Number 18, subtract 3 from both sides. Root. Don't forget the plus minus. 27 breaks down to 9 times 3, so this is going to become 3I root 3. Add 2 to both sides. Okay, and we should be prepared for 2. Ask me if you have any questions about this. This is a little different concept. I will always put up on the board this for you. And then it repeats, okay? So have a great day. Ask if you have any questions.